The winner of Sacrifice main event will unify the Impact TNA World Championships and then face Kenny Omega in Impact vs AEW title versus title fight next month. This is massive news, which was just announced on this week's Impact Wrestling episode. As you all know, we have a world title match taking place this Saturday, the 13th of March at Sacrifice, exclusively on Impact Plus, where Rich Swann is putting his Impact World title on the line against the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose. Since Moose awarded himself the now sanctioned TNA World Heavyweight Championship, he has called himself the promotion's true champion, despite that definition belonging to the Impact World Champion Rich Swann. Because of what Moose did to Rich Swann's best friend, Willie Mack, it was in that moment that Rich Swann finally gave in and granted Moose his long-awaited title opportunity. Who will leave Sacrifice with the Impact World title around their waist? Now we have learned that from this week's Impact Wrestling episode, the 9th of March 2021, the winner will go on to face the All Elite Wrestling AEW World Champion Kenny Omega in a title versus title match at the next live pay-per-view event, Saturday, April the 24th, which is Rebellion, exclusively on Impact Plus. There have only been a handful of truly inter-promotional champion versus champions, title versus title collisions in the century since professional wrestling gained widespread popularity. Simply put, it isn't good business for promoters to risk the champion of a rival organization not only beating their champion but taking their title belt back to a competitor's promotion. But that's what will happen at the Rebellion pay-per-view next month, when either Swann or Moose will go one-on-one, champion versus champion, title versus title against Kenny Omega, the reigning kingpin of AEW. It is hard to describe the magnitude of the opportunity Rich Swann and Moose have this Saturday. D'Amore said, in just 6 short weeks, one of them will not only unify the Impact and TNA World Championships, but also go into a once-in-a-generation showdown where they have a chance become the reigning champion of two of the most prestige organizations in the sport. It isn't hyperbole to say Rich Swann and Moose are fighting for their shot at wrestling immortality this Saturday night. D'Amore added, "These two athletes hate each other, yet one of them has the chance to cost the other the greatest opportunity of their career. Bad Blood, arguably the two greatest wrestlers in Impact, going at it, title versus title, and the chance to make wrestling history. There's not enough hyperbole to do justice to Saturday's main event. Impact Wrestling presents Sacrifice Saturday, March the 13th, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Impact World Champion vs TNA World Champion Rich Swann vs Moose. Knockout Championship Deonna Purrazzo vs ODB. World Tag Team Championship The Good Brothers vs Finn Juice. The Knockouts Tag Team Championship Fire and Flavor vs Jordan Grace and Jazz. X Division Championship TJP vs Ace Austin. A no disqualification match Brian Myers vs Eddie Edwards. Tag team match Violent by Design Dina and Doreen vs James Storm and Chris Sabin.